In the second-to-last episode of the first season of Mobland, Conrad made one of the most shocking discoveries about his relationship with Maeve. He confessed that she had been conspiring against him and that she had informed the authorities about Arch's burial location. Conrad and Maeve finally reached their breaking point during the extremely heated dinner scene at the end of episode 9. Conrad swung a shattered bottle and a steak knife, while Maeve angrily scolded him. There was no chance for a satisfying resolution because the dinner was cut short. Despite putting her oldest son's life in jeopardy, Maeve was a major suspect in the hunt for the Heron, who is collaborating with Richie Stevenson. This is because she coordinated with Richie to murder Serafina. In regards to London's fentanyl operation, it is still unclear whether Maeve has been Richie's rat inside the Harrigan group. Nevertheless, it has come to light that Maeve not only urged Conrad to murder his long-lost friend Archie, who was actually not cooperating with Richie, but she also made the anonymous phone call to the authorities, providing them with information about where to locate Arch's body. Why is the new question? The 60 years of marriage haven't brought Maeve and Conrad closer together. Several episodes of Mobland have touched on Conrad's infamous history with women. Actually, Bella Harrigan was one of Kevin's girls while they were both in their 50s, and she was just 20 years old. This was before she wed him. Maeve's animosity towards Sifina stemmed solely from the fact that she is Sifina's offspring from Conrad's adultery, which occurred many years ago. Since Kevin's other brother has been brought up by Maeve, it does not rule out the possibility that Conrad has another son. She apparently told the police about Arch's body for that reason. That move, along with Maeve's plot to have Sifina killed by Richie, was done only to bring her husband down, to have him fall from the precipice that he is constantly, precariously balanced on. As they faced off at the head of the Harrigan dining table, Maeve made it clear that he is no longer reigning over anyone. Conrad is erratic and out of control, and Maeve is hellbent on making sure he goes down the drain. Tragically, Maeve doesn't appear to be the cunning manipulator that she imagines herself to be. Her intentions are aimless, and her decision-making has been completely perplexing on more than one occasion. Trusting the word of a man whose wife she had just assisted in killing, she contacted Richie to inform him of Serafina's whereabouts. She also gave him the whereabouts of Serafina's son. It might be a combination of mind-numbing recklessness and hopeless naivety, depending on who you ask. The Heron crime organization isn't exactly looking out for Maeve's best interests. She has no plans to leave her son and grandson anything but a shaky foundation for their future success. She isn't even planning ahead. With nothing but Conrad's demise in her thoughts, Maeve is aiming for complete anarchy. She doesn't care about the unintended consequences that may result from that. Though we don't get a glimpse of their chat, it's safe to assume that Eddie revealed all about Maeve's schemes when Conrad confronts him in the opening moments of episode 9. Eddie verified all that Conrad needed to know, even if he probably knew or had some concrete suspicions earlier. Eddie is more loyal to Maeve than he is to Conrad. To put it plainly, Conrad felt he could pull the truth out of Eddie because, whether it's true or not, Eddie sees Conrad as the more dangerous of his two obviously disturbed grandparents. I don't get why Maeve went to the cops about Archie. Was it the weight of her own guilt that was crushing her? Was she scared? Maybe the pressure had finally gotten to her. There is obviously no strategy or intent behind her decision. Just thinking about it makes me nervous. The personal nature of ill-considered decisions is often stripped away in crime tales such as this one. Their motion is a spiral. Maeve may have only been attempting to stay alive, but she exposed a secret the Herons were attempting to hide. I was unnerved by Maeve's decision. In Mobland, the plot took a sharp turn, both emotionally and structurally, when she reported the death of Archie to the authorities. The Harrigans had been a closed system up until that moment. Angry and disorderly, certainly, but discreet. Maeve shattered that. My suspicion that she may have unintentionally, or perhaps deliberately, set in motion a series of circumstances that would lead to the family's complete disintegration grows as I give it more thought. In no way am I defending Maeve. This woman's mind was obviously falling apart. In a world like Mobland, where secrecy is valued and treachery is frowned upon, her choice to speak out is not just risky. It might be fatal for both her and the Harrigan lineage. In this kind of universe, it only takes a single action to completely shift the balance of power, which is terrifying. Plus, Maeve has only just lit the fuse. Maeve did more than just make people uncomfortable. She led the authorities by the nose. Finding concrete proof is the biggest challenge for law enforcement in criminal universes like Mobland. Maeve just gave them Archie's body. That's proof in the form of actual objects, the kind of things that intimidation can't erase. If any forensic evidence remains, or if certain members of the Heron family can be linked to Archie's death, the entire enterprise might collapse. At this point, I don't think it's just about Archie. An issue of precedent arises. Maeve proved that Herons are able to bleed and even talk. The police will investigate every possible lead in the hopes of locating other suspects who may be equally frightened or eager to confess. Now that they had one suspect to pursue, in my opinion, Maeve's revelation is what finally sets everything in motion. The Herons have been careless but effective up until that point. That was kept in-house. Regardless of your intentions, the moment you allow the police to enter your home, you open the door for the outside world to pry into your personal life. Everything you've built is now in danger in Mobland because of this. I really doubt that Maeve set out to destroy the family. Perhaps she had the conviction that she was acting morally. The mayhem may have been too much for her, so she fled. However, the progress made thus far is irrelevant. Since Archie's remains and Maeve's testimony have been brought into the investigation, the Harrigans have been more visible than ever before. Not to mention that word gets out.